first tip is never to use the large radius or a palette, this is called default grid, because that will deorientize you of the map. If I already choose a color like the green one, I won't see anything. I will pretty much get deorientized. So what I do, I keep this just the same, just a default, and I will try to use yeah, not coastal cliff, something else, something much more nicer, to make myself a mountain of the textures I got. And as you just see below, it doesn't cost any objects points, so you can create everything you want, and it's much more easier than using something else. I also will show you the environment settings, like enable Vista. Yeah, if you do that, you will see the mountains at the back side over here, but we're gonna make some of them self because it costs any object's item budget. So here we go. Just make some nice peaks into it. I could change the setting to more speed, but I don't, because otherwise it's going way too fast and you can't see any nice changes into the mountain itself. It's like the same you seeing over here. If I'm going to texturize this one, you will see this line crossing over here, and you have to shape it up, otherwise it doesn't look nice, because you will see the grid just like this, and you don't want that. So we're gonna smooth it up. Oh, that's not, yeah, this the good one. Here we go. Just make something like also a little creek inside of here, just by using the texture and one part of the item. So I will show you later on. First we're going to make the mountain and its textures. So you can approach this from 2 ways of view. Just make with the big square the whole item like this, almost every part you want to take of it. But this doesn't look nice, so we're gonna take another one. I often use Coyote, if I'm right, for the texture, and it looks pretty. Oh yeah, Genote. Okay, here we go. Because it's a light texture. It also depends what type of map I want to make. So if I want to make a lightning map, I will use this texture because it looks pretty nice. But if I want to make something like a night vision night map, I will often use some darker texture of it. Always try to use the square, or I mean the circle, a bit of zigzagging onto the map, so you also can see, you also can make the radius much more smaller to detailize the mountain you want to create. Something like this. It's just some kind of sketch you're making right now, so it's not pretty detailized, but that will be coming up soon. Okay. Um, Let me see. Yeah, we're gonna try to make a snowy map of it because it looks pretty nice. I hope it does work. And also make some crossing out points with the snow itself. You see, this mountain is just something like the back side of the map, and also, as you notice, the item budget doesn't cost you anything. It's only advisable if you make this type of mountain. You got to be sure the player will see it, because if I go back with camera, it will be blended a bit, so it doesn't look nice if I'm staying just over here. And you will see the mountain just a bit too much squared. But if I just get myself to it, it doesn't blur out and sharpens itself. So be sure of that. You don't put the player too far away, because otherwise it doesn't look nice like this. And just forget about the squares you see in the over here, because that's just the grid itself. They won't be visible in the original game. Okay, let's sharp it up a bit. Uh, I'm often use erosion for it because it looks pretty nice. Also try to take this one slow, because if you do it too fast, it just looks like a pineapple tree. It doesn't look nice. You have to start all over again, or just use your how you say it, the L1 button, and it turns back to where it was. Um, so use push down the LM button, and after that use your pad and select the right tab of it, and it will turn back. And even if you use the other side again, you also can chase it back um, at the starting point like this. promised to make some kind of a waterfall. At least I want to use the mountain as some kind of I'm not sure how you say it in English, but I will try to show you. Uh, During that I will think about what's the name in English for that. Okay, let's set the height again. Want to make it a bit smaller. This a bit too deep. We're going back up. At least I'm going to make some kind of creek. Just over here in the middle. Here we go. It doesn't have to look straight because it's just shaped out by the water. And also the water, I will show you how to do that. I often fill up this part because if I going to use the water, there's some kind of height of it, and if I don't do it and I place the water just like this part, only the square, to make this good, and this part is square, and this part is square, and this part is square, and also over here in squares where you see the layer over here. If I will fill it up, often you will see also the water over here, so got to shape it up a bit with its heights to be sure you don't see the water. Also use it for this one. And you also got to be sure at this point, just the same like the mountain, to flatten out these lines. Yeah, I already got a nice idea for this. Okay. Okay, first we're gonna place the texture below the water because if I don't do that and I will visualize the water itself, the water perhaps will be dark and you can't see the texture. Let's try this one. Nope, not on default. just also just like the mountain sketch. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this texture for it because if I just look from above, it doesn't look part of the map. It just looks like something you will put just around here and not into the water, because it looks like bones over here. I'm not sure if you look over here, it does look the same, but let's change it a bit. No, that's too soft. That's too hard. Nope. Perhaps I'm going to use some snow texture for it. Something like this. Or this. Nope. This one. Okay, now we got the terrain itself. At least, I mean the terrain and the texture. So I'm going to show you how to place the water. This is called the water layer. The height is 60. You gotta bring it down below. This point. And if I would set the water, I use R1. You don't see the water, but it has to be there. Just shape it up a bit. Here we go. Okay, just like I told you, you will see over here nothing, but we can change that a bit. Doesn't really matter, because if I just let me say, if I want to make a cave over here, what I'm going to make after this, you will notice there's no water around here. So often what I see is people are using the environment settings and the water level itself. The only difficult with that, if you do that, you will set the whole map into the water, and that's not the way it's supposed to be. Like this. Okay, so we placed some water over here, just to this point also, and we also can select what type of water we want to use. It's a bit too much gray for me, so I will change this one. That's way too dark. Large lake, no reflections. Let me see. gonna use this one because it's more lighten up. Now I will show you how to place also the texture into the water with some let me see, with some stones into it and stuff like that. But first we're going to shape it up a bit or smooth it out. As you see, I will try to use the texture. I will try to use the texture so it doesn't conflict with the other texture. It just smooths into each other. Just try to start at the point of the water itself, so it doesn't look too hasty. And also at this point, it doesn't have to be perfect. Here we go. Yeah, well, I will make a cave over here. So we're going to start up with that, and after that we're going to try to explain the add affectation. It's not pretty. It's not that difficult. You first have to select which chosen palette item you want to use, and often I use the south or the north on the water for this part. Just select it. And this is south on the water. The north I can also can use just for the mountain because they only supposed to be rocks. So here we go. Well, I got something much better for this. Let's go back. precious rocks. Here we go. Whoop. Okay. Let me get out. Okay, now I showed you a bit of texture. Let me go on to make myself a cave, and also with some waterfall onto it, just above over here. I hope it all works. I hope it all works out the first time, but it often do. Okay, first I will show you. Go to more, select hole, and select your radius. Uh, this pretty large hole into the mountain itself. We got to shape it up a bit. Just fill it up again. We got some kind of a square in the middle. After that, we're going to try to select back to the item screens, objects, nature, caves. You can select any type of cave you want. Often what I do is just place the caves over here and over here, which one I want to use, because if I took them one by one, it takes too much time, and you can't see the cave, the whole surrounding. It's much better to just pre-select all the objects you want to use. I often do that the same with big items, so that's just a small tip. This also looks nice. Perhaps there's it's just a hole. Well, it's a bit too big, but let me try. Okay, that did seem to work. Okay, I'm back again. First was trying to place the item just the way I wanted. I think this is a pretty good emplacement for it. So now we're going to create something around it. I'm not really sure what I want to create, just a waterfall, perhaps something else, because I already thought by myself to make some kind of rhino of the of this part of the cave. So just let me figure it out. I will try to make something good. Yeah, it has to be look natural, otherwise it just looks like an item who is being placed into the mountain itself. Okay, I'm not really sure if I'm using too much water, otherwise it will be way too big. So I'm trying to place this one into it, just a bit into the mountain itself. looks like this part water is falling on the other part, that one is just falling in the middle. And I'm, I don't think if I would make a map I would show the people or the player what's behind this part, because it doesn't really matter. Because if you do, and it does matter, you have to change the whole path of the water itself, and also make a creek over here. You have to remove the mountain and stuff like that. So I'd rather not do that.